Right, here we go. Let's hope this works. Thank you for joining this Zoom webinar. I'm just going to make sure that this is actually recording before I carry on, so I don't have to do it again like I had to do a couple of weeks ago. And we're good to go. Brilliant. So thanks for joining us, guys. And gorgeous sunny day. So nice to kind of finish off the day just going through some more information about Wyboost backwards. Wyboost proposition builder service for mobile operators, really. And what I wanted to cover off today, seeing as we've covered and we've looked at infographics over the last couple of weeks, what I wanted to look at today is, you know, the thinking behind looking at the data and interpreting the data that's available from Wyboo and translating that into a product that meets consumers' needs. So we're going to spend the next 5 minutes just looking at some real stats and really trying to translate whether the structure of products that we've got in the UK mobile industry actually suit consumers' needs. Forget any recommendations. I've deliberately removed the recommendations from the Excel spreadsheet that I hope you can see in front of you. Just forget about them for the moment. Let's just look at consumers' behaviour across a typical 30-day billing cycle, and let's look at the consumption of key elements and whether that matches the philosophy about how we create products in the UK in the mobile space, and particularly how we create SIM-only products, because of course, you know, that's Wyboost's current focus. SIM-only now, Android now, iOS in less than 2 weeks, SIM plus handsets plus broadband into your home probably over the next 3 months. But let's get straight to the spreadsheet. So hopefully you'll be able to see my cursor moving. So I'm just going to look at the data that's in the current cells, which is a subset of the data that we output, which again is a subset of the data that you can work with us to understand more. Obviously, we'd need a commercial relationship with you to give you full access to our understanding about consumer behaviour. And this isn't, by the way, the most up-to-date information that we've got, but the principle of the data within it is still very much the same. So I'm going to look at this first user, and clearly there's something that's a little bit unusual there. Why is it unusual? A huge amount of gigs of data consumed that month. I would suggest that's probably not an ideal case study for the purposes of this call. That person clearly does not have access to Wi-Fi at home and clearly loves Netflix. Let's move down to the next relevant data set, which is actually on row 7, and it's someone that's currently using one of the biggest 4G networks in the UK. So let's look at the scores on the doors. Regardless of the package that that customer has right now, they're using 4.2 gigs of data on a regular basis across a billing cycle. And, you know, I would say if I was in charge of mobile products within a mobile operator, I would say that that usage scenario is probably quite common. But I would question whether there was an opportunity to tailor an offer to that customer which was more appropriate to their needs. And, you know, quite frankly, if you're using 4.2 gigs of data on a monthly basis, it's very likely that you're either on a 3 gig package or a 5 or above gig package, none of which suit your needs. No one is going to go out there and create a mobile tariff with 4.2 gigs of data a month, because this is an edge case scenario. But as we go through this 5 minutes, you'll see that the overall principle of what I'm talking about is that we need to stop thinking about whole units. 1 gig, 2 gig, 3 gig, 4 gig, 5 gig, 6 gig. Humans and human behavior don't fall into regimented product structures with a fixed amount of units. Let's go down to the next one. And again, forget what this person has at the moment and forget what the recommendations were, but the principle is exactly the same. This person is using 1.65 gigs of data on a monthly basis. Very, very likely that their package includes more or significantly less than that. Next one, 7.3, same principle. 2.49, 2.5, 1.08, just over a gig. 1.15, just over a gig. 7.21. And this is really where we at Waibu get phenomenally excited by the power of data, because you can see not only on the data set in terms of the mobile data that's being consumed by that user, you can see Wi-Fi data, UK text, UK calls, international text, premium rate calls, premium rate text. And you can start to build a profile of that user as an anonymous human being and look at in more detail about what they need. And my analysis from the several hundred rows, I think there's 304 records in this spreadsheet that we're looking at, my analysis really says even units 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gig on mobile data, absolutely not suited to personal behavior for consumers in the UK. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gig of mobile data does not take into account how much data that user offloads over Wi-Fi. And by the way, guys, we can give you that information. It's much better for you to get a user who uses data sensibly, but offloads the majority of it to Wi-Fi data rather than the radio layer that's in the sky. Users that have a pattern of data and premium rate or international, which out of bundle, profit in those types of calls, obviously, for obvious reasons, because they're much higher. Really interesting to you if you want to drill down into that information. And I guess the last point in the 5 minutes is, something that we looked at last week, and I did get quite a lot of comment after it. If you're in the business of building propositions, this row here about the current network operator and the current deal and the usage pattern, that's absolutely invaluable to you. If you know not only what people need from the rows here, but if you understand what network they're on now, if you understand how much data they offload over Wi-Fi, that gives you the power to create compelling propositions, but not only compelling propositions, but compelling propositions that are targeted at a subset of the UK population that you can identify, so you know how to target them in channels, but you can also calculate your margin. And, again, there's much more data than you're seeing here that's available in the land of Waibu. And I do get quite a lot of questions about the data sets. The power of that data coming together in some sort of meta model for you to understand consumer behavior is absolutely immense. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to post this in my private LinkedIn group. I'm going to post it on LinkedIn. If you have any questions about anything I've shown today, or you want to work with Waibu to understand more, give me a shout. You know where to find me. Give me a call or send me a message on LinkedIn. Thanks, guys.